Hello students! In our previous video, we learnt about energy flow in the ecosystem and also learnt about ecological pyramids. From the energy flow pyramid, two things become very clear. Firstly, the flow of energy is unidirectional, and secondly, unknowingly, some harmful chemicals enter our bodies through the food chain. In fact, their concentration goes on increasing at each successive trophic level as we go higher and higher in this food chain. We will understand this phenomena in detail today. Students, these days we often read or hear about reports of increased pesticide levels in ready-made food items. What do you think would be the source of these pesticides in these food items? Could pesticides get into our bodies from the source or through the food that we consume? The answer to both the questions is yes. In fact, a big yes. These pesticides enter individual organisms' body through the food chain at each trophic level. This process is called as biomagnification. Let's understand. As we told you, biomagnification is the process where there is increase in contaminated substances due to their presence in the environment that surrounds any organism. For example, farmers use several pesticides like DDT and other chemicals to protect their crops from diseases and pests. These chemicals are either washed down into the soil or into the water bodies. From the soil, these are absorbed by plants along with the water and minerals. And from water bodies, these are taken up by aquatic plants and animals. DDT doesn't break down over short periods in the environment and is a substance that gets stored in the tissues of animals who consume it. Also know that just as DDT stays in environment for a long time because it cannot get decomposed easily, the same way it stays inside the body of organisms for a long time. Again, here also it cannot be easily metabolized by the body of organism. So from water, DDT just enters the body of fish, or say from soil, DDT just enters the body of plants. Say here it gets accumulated in the bodies of these organisms with time, and the concentration becomes 5 ppm, that is 5 parts per million. Now at the next trophic level, many fishes will be eaten up by higher carnivorous fish. With each fish, it gets added up to say 200 ppm in the body of bigger fish. Can you tell me how many fish the bigger fish ate? Yes, it is 40 fishes. Recall, this is because at each trophic level, only 10% of energy is available, and the rest 90% is either utilized or wasted as heat. And this is the reason why at each trophic level, a higher carnivore has to eat many lower animals. This is simply to compensate for the loss of energy at every trophic level. Thus, at each level, the concentration of chemicals will increase or magnify. And this process of magnification or accumulation of chemicals is called as biomagnification. This became particularly problematic for bald eagles. Bald eagles are top-order predators in the aquatic food chain. They were consuming large quantities of fish that had been affected by toxic chemicals. And the eagles also ingested the toxic chemicals with the fish they ate. Over the time, the chemicals disrupted their ability to lay eggs with the strong shells, causing the bald eagle population to decrease to the point of their near extinction. It wasn't just species of eagles that were affected. In fact, other predator birds like brown pelicans, and peregrine falcons saw the same side effects. The thinning of their eggshells made incubation and hatching near impossible, and thus threatened these birds' populations. In short, biomagnification is the process by which a compound, such as pollutant or a pesticide, increases its concentration in the tissues of organisms as it travels upwards in the food chain. Now students, since we have studied what is biomagnification and have seen some examples to understand it, let us now see causes of this phenomenon. In general, we can say that some of the major causes of biomagnification are agricultural pesticides, insecticides, fertilizers, and fungicides are very toxic and are released into the soil, rivers, lakes, and seas. These cause health issues in aquatic organisms and also in humans. Industrial activities release toxic substances which enter into the organisms through food chain, leading to biomagnification. Mining activities also generate a large amount of sulfide and selenium deposits in the water. These toxic substances are absorbed by aquatic organisms in the food chain, and in turn, they are passed on to the organisms of higher trophic levels. We saw that biomagnification has an impact not only to the lower group of animals but also to the largest predators of that food chain. It has more impact on humans with increased occurrence of cancer, kidney problems, liver failure, birth defects, respiratory disorders, or heart diseases, etc. It also affects the reproductive and developmental process of marine organisms. With the increase in biomagnification, we saw the massive destruction of coral reefs, which in turn affects the lives of many aquatic animals. And thus, overall, biomagnification is fatal not only to the organisms but also to the environment.